And in a few moments, I'm going to introduce our special guest, but I'm going to hold that for just a minute. Derek is here. Media, make yourselves known. We have Willamette Week. What's this one back here in the corner? OPB?
Citizen journalist.
Citizen journalist. Okay? The Statesman here. Statesman said they were coming. Okay. Okay, we have a real treat. I'm just absolutely thrilled that Derek Hernandez has traveled with his lovely wife, Tanya, to come to Salem to be with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Before I get started, I got to return the favor, and I have to thank Cynthia here. She came out to Yuma. If you guys don't know where Yuma is, it's between nowhere and nothing. It's the furthest to the west of Arizona. It's right on the Arizona-California border, and borders with Mexico there, obviously. But let me continue on here. Show you. This was right outside my office here. I used to be a local president for Local 2595 out in Yuma, Arizona. I was a local president for 4 years. We had a good time out there. Got to show her a lot of areas where, even though the fence has stopped a lot of the influx of aliens coming on in, it hasn't stopped it though. It slowed them down. It's a barrier. My title here, Western Regional Vice President for the National Border Patrol Council. We are affiliated with American Federation of Government Employees, AFL-CIO, if that's not a mouthful there. My name, Derek Hernandez, or Derek Hernandez, a lot of people question that, and they say, they wonder about my background. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about my background. My father is a Mexican citizen. I am the first to be born, and proud to be born in the United States. I have brothers and sisters and siblings that were all born in Mexico. My brother ended up naturalizing back in 1970. So I am proud to be an American, though. That is one thing, one value that a lot of people forget. A little about myself. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in New Mexico. I've lived in Arizona, and I've lived in California. What do they all have in common? They all border Mexico, right? So I don't think I've left one state out that I haven't lived in that borders Mexico there. Some people don't believe that I have a uniform, so I tell my colleagues, here it is, and I show them once a year, that I do have a uniform. Even though I'm an elected official for the National Border Patrol Council, I am still a Border Patrol agent. That is my first and primary duties. When we had the sequestration, I was out there on the line protecting this border. I think within 2 days of being out there, I got a drug seizure, and it took me longer to do the paperwork than it actually did the seizure. I'll admit that. Let's go into the facts of this. I'd like to make this a little more interactive, so I will ask questions to the audience here. This is taken from the supporters of this website, and they said the driver card may not be used as an identification for air travel, to enter a federal building, to register to vote, or to obtain any government benefits requiring proof of citizenship or lawful presence in the United States. The only truth to that is that last sentence that I highlighted. That's true. It's not a document that will be used for lawful presence in the United States. But let's show where it can be circumvented. As a law enforcement officer, we have a lot of issues. This will become a big deal for us to enforce the law, for us to identify and deal with illegal aliens that have this card. So if you look at the bill, and I put it in, I OCR'd it in PDF format, and I try to find anywhere in there specific language or language addressing the exclusion for the register to vote. I didn't find it in there. If any of you out here that have read the document in its entirety can show me where it has any provision in there that would exclude this, let me know. I went to the website, and this is what it says on there. This is an acceptable form of ID to register as a voter in your state. It has driver's license, permit, ID number. It doesn't exclude the card. Nowhere in there does it have that. Air travel. That's another wrong a myth. If you look at any documentation from TSA, it says, this is directly from them, a driver's license, other state for photo identification card issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles or equivalent. What is the key word there? Equivalent, right? Or the Department of Motor Vehicles for the sole purpose of identification. That's it. So by them purporting saying that you won't be eligible to fly with it, that's not true. You will be eligible to fly with it. This is straight from the TSA. The only thing it won't allow you to do is if you fly out of the country and then come back in, what are you doing now? You have to present yourself for inspection in front of an immigration officer that would be able to admit you into this country. That is true. That they won't be able to do. But flying interior, once you're inside the United States with that document, where does it allow you to go? Anywhere, right? Enter a federal building. I don't know where they came up with this. This is straight from GSA. They say generally visitors must have a valid picture ID and are required to submit to a security screening process to gain entrance to the building. That's it. What does that mean? Will this ID enable you to go into a federal building? Absolutely, yes. Now let's go into a little bit more. I think all this stuff you guys probably already know. This is probably what you don't know. Operations of the Border Patrol. How many of you have been down to the border? Actually down to the border. Good. Quite a few hands. Our first operation in El Paso was Hold the Line. Anyone know what that was about? What Hold the Line was about? Feel free to speak up. It was to create such a presence within the city itself. It would push the illegal personnel, UDAs, undocumented aliens, from coming into the city. So it would push them farther and farther out. So the philosophy was you would catch them in other areas that weren't densely populated, within the city. In San Diego, Gatekeeper, same philosophy. In Yuma, we had Operation Jumpstart, if you guys are familiar with that. We actually had the military come out and help us out on that. That was very, very successful. We had the National Guard come out and help us out with that. In Tucson, they've had Safeguard. Rio Grande Valley, are you guys familiar with that? You guys even know where that is down on the map, right? What's happening right now? We're getting overwhelmed. We are getting overrun. And a lot of people, I'll show you a video later, what overrun means. A lot of people don't have an idea. They think maybe a group of 2 to 3. We're talking hundreds. And how many agents are out there protecting this border? Maybe a handful, maybe 4 or 5, right? So with these operations, is there a list that we can go by and say next month it's going to be somewhere else? No. Anytime we beef up enforcement from El Paso, could we have predicted that it was going to go to San Diego, the traffic was going to go there? No. Went to San Diego. From San Diego, Yuma, Tucson, RGV. We beef up a particular area, what happens? It's just going to shift to an area where we don't have our high enforcement, our technology, our walls, our ultralights, or the UAVs that we have. Why would they come here? What are some of the reasons that would attract an illegal alien to come to Oregon? Right. You're accepting, right?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Good place to grow marijuana.
Well, I won't get into that. You're far away from interior patrols. Anyone know the Border Patrol used to do interior patrols? We used to be active in it. What happened? The law didn't change. What changed? Could be. Enforcement. They didn't have bed space for us. Anytime we did an operation in Las Vegas, anyone been to Las Vegas? Right? You ever been there and seeing the guys clicking the cards? Right? Okay. We did an operation out there. We sacked up, that means arrest. We arrested probably 100 within our first day. What happened then? We didn't have the bed space. There was still more out there. But what happened? That's it. If we are at our capacity and we can't put them anywhere, what are we going to do? They just shut down the operation. I said, hey, good job. Now go back to you. And actually, Las Vegas is one of our territories in UN. If you look at a geographical map, we are responsible for that area.